So team, today our topics are mostly on S3, IAM, and AWS Glue. I'm going to discuss more on databases and Redshift and other topics in the next session. So I still don't know if I can complete all these things, three concepts in a single day. Like yesterday, I have discussed about the AWS EC2 instances, which are basically servers. Like I said, that's also pretty much important. So if you don't know that, I haven't. If you have missed that, I'll keep the recording so that you can track it there. And yeah, coming to this S3, IAM AWS Glue, I can say AWS S3 is nothing but like you can say we have Google it here, right? Um, can everyone of you mute yourself? I'm hearing my voice repeatedly. Okay. So coming to the S3 buckets, it's like we have Google Drive, iCloud. These are our storage accounts or storage functionalities that providing us. What is the Drive providing us? We can store our data, upload our data there. Likewise, like I said yesterday, AWS, Azure, and GCP are our cloud resources. I mean, cloud services. They are providing us many benefits. This is one of the benefit. They are saying, hey, if you want to store something of your data, we have our hard. I mean, what I can say, storage devices with us. We have databases. You can store our data with us, so you don't have to maintain any disk or whatever items needed for maintaining the data. If you have large amounts of data, we will take care of it. So that is what S3 is. Let's go and dive into S3 practically so that you guys will easily understand that. So I'm already into my console. I'm into this. My nearby location is this Ohio. Like I said, if I wanna go to some resource, I can come here and I can search here. That's S3, or I can go to here and I can search it. So let me go to S3. See, I already have a bucket here. So bucket is nothing but see, if you compare, you guys can say, well, like we have file manager, we'll be having everything arranged. Likewise, we have items here also. We have many items like we can create folders here, we can delete folders, we can create upload files inside the subfolders. So we can manage files also. In which file we are keeping what and what. So like that, we can maintain multiple data into the AWS S3. Okay. Yeah. Coming to the next concept, let's go practically and create a bucket. Bucket is the concept that means I'm sorry. So bucket is the concept that means where we're gonna keep items. Like we have a bucket. What all the items you're gonna keep inside your bucket. You got it right. So likewise, we have this bucket. It is asking us create a bucket and keep your items inside this. So if I see this is getting created in US East bucket type. What you all need. Basically, this is for general purpose, allowing the for this three bucket type like a mix of storage clans as with redundantly storage objects. This stores across multiple zones. This stores only with the single availability zone. This is storing in multiple availability zones. Like I have told you the concept of availability zones. If you select this, if that availability zone is affected by some earthquake or something, or maybe something got collapsed or there is power outage, whatever it is, you may not able to get that data back, or maybe that gets destroyed. So if you store in multiple availability zones, that stores the backup there into the different availability zones. That's how you're gonna uh, store the data. So select this option always. So this is how you're gonna store this and give bucket name. You can give your bucket name like sample. You don't it always this name should be lowercase. Sample bucket one. Mm, okay, I'm keeping all the items as the default one here. See, it will ask you many permissions. You want to give it the public access, who all can access. If you want to give on the access control list, like there is access control list, ACLs in the sense. So it is giving us access, whom all you want to be accessed. So everything you can do here. Um, I wanna go deep dive into the S3 buckets later, but today my concept is AWS Glue. To explain that very well or briefly, I wanna just go through this S3 bucket as an overview so that I can complete AWS Glue concept today, and we can go deep down into the S3 bucket later. So I'm creating the bucket here. Maybe it's saying already name it. This is very simple name. So S3 bucket KS Kansas. I'm giving a straight name and I'm saying cricket create bucket. So these are two different buckets. This is one bucket. Inside this, I can keep all my data related to my business. In this bucket, I can keep all my data related to personal. If I wanted to say this is my business bucket, I can say inside my business, I can create multiple folders. I have business with multiple guys. I'm having um, food business, I'm having restaurant business, inside food business, and I can keep all the files related to food. Inside this hotel business, I can keep all the records of the hotel. So if you can see the sample here, let me create a folder name inside that. Mm, Restaurant. Don't accept this. Thank you. Hotel data. Hotel data. Yeah, it is saying you want any server-side encryption or not. You can say like don't specify an encryption key and you can create a folder there. See, always try to check the hierarchy here also. I am inside S3, inside bucket, I am inside sample bucket, and if I want to create another folder inside, I can still create another folder inside this. This is like I said hotel data in the sense what I can say customers data, and I can create folder again. Inside customers data, if I want to upload my file, I can upload. I can upload files like we in Google Drive. What we will do? We will go to the Google Drive. We will upload. We'll add files from our local machine, right? That's the same thing here, and I'm uploading it here. See, it's getting uploaded. So this is how you're gonna store the data in S3, AWS S3. Like you store in different cloud platforms. Likewise, in coming to the AWS, this is how you're gonna store it in the S3 bucket. Okay. So coming to the S3 buckets, what are the advantages? You can say, hey, we have Google Drive, we have other items. What's the difference between that and this? Here, these are more secure. This offers the durability. This offers the scalability. For example, if you got a bucket, you created a bucket here, right? Let me close this. You created a bucket. Maybe your company in real time, let's assume in real time, what happens? We will be getting lot of data from our clients or from other resources. We'll get lot of data. For SAP, you will get SAP data. You will be storing that into the S3. For data engineers, what happens? Like you'll be getting every day multiple or bulk amount of data into the buckets which you are specifying where you wanna keep your data, incoming data. So whenever your data is in huge, AWS automatically manages it when you configure it. So basically, it gives you the scalability, so automatically scales whenever you want to handle virtually unlimited data. So if you got unlimited virtual data, it automatically expands your memory. Even if you took the low memory, if you configure it, if you configure with auto scaling, so basically that concept what it does, whenever you got unlimited data or getting bulk amount of data, it automatically manages it. Okay, you have data transfer options like you can upload and download everything here. Okay, and even it will trigger you notifications whenever there is new data in your bucket. Okay, there are multiple items. These are the multiple features that AWS S3 is offering us. And you have many different classes here in S3 buckets. So it's not like simple. Let me come here. See, like I said, it's giving security compliance and data performance and durability and data control, disaster recovery. For example, something happens to your data. If you lost your memory card, you lost everything, right? There would be no backup. But here, you can recover your data in AWS. If you use multi-availability zones concept, you can back up your data and restore it. You can archive your data. For example, you are having your data for the long time. Maybe you don't want to delete it, but you still need it for the reference. What you can do, you can archive it instead of deleting it. You can archive your data. See, retire physical infrastructure and archive data with S3 storage classes. Here there is concept called data lakes and big data analytics. This actually, when you create a data lakes, you can keep your bulk amount of data into the data lakes and warehouses here. See, there are multiple items. There are a lot more about S3, but I wanna go deep down into the AWS Glue concept today. So, coming to the AWS Glue, I wanna show this image which I took from the Google. So basically, what is AWS Glue? There are many ETL tools outside. Basically, maybe the data engineers or analysts or these guys have heard mostly. Coming to the data AWS Glue, there are multiple many ETL tools available outside like Databricks, Metallion, Informatica. Likewise, AWS Glue is also one concept. Basically, I will simply say you instead of complexity, I will simply try to explain you guys. AWS Glue is nothing but you are getting a data from somewhere. Your client is saying, "Hey, I am sending you data. Transform it and load it. Do some necessary transformations." It is saying maybe there is a table in which some columns are missing. You don't have some items. For example, there is a table called um, roll number, student number, and email ID and phone number of a student. In some columns, or in some rows, what happens? Phone numbers are missing. All these things. So it is saying, hey, transform it into perfect or some. Some construct it in a perfect way so that removing all the empty columns and add time and date also for that records. So what all the transformations? I'm just giving you example. So whenever some data is coming, there is data source. So you have to extract it, extract the data from the data source from which you are getting data source. What can be data source? Multiple items can be data source. There are our data source is AWS S3. S3 storage device, right? So our data will be in AWS S3 in which we are storing. Previously I shown you how we can store the data. You can take the data from there, extract it. That means you are extracting data from there. Transform. You can transform using script, or you will take each component and create a pipeline in which you will transform that. I don't want to confuse the beginners here. So basically, we will transform the data into the meaningful data, how the client is asking us to transform it, and then again load the data. This is now transformed data. We are pushing it to the target where you want to store it again. Again, you want to store it into AWS S3 or some other storages. This is the target device where you want to store the data. So coming to the AWS Glue, there are two components. Sorry, there is two components: AWS ETL and data catalog. What is data catalog? This part you can consider it as data catalog. What is this? You are having data stores like you can say AWS RDS, like it can be MySQL or whatever it is. In that, basically our data is stored. Basically, right? Our data will be stored. In databases, what would be there? Student data, customer data, restaurant data, whatever it is. There is our data here, real meaningful data. Here, there is a crawler. Crawler basically takes data from across, I believe, 60 to 70 resources. Crawler can access the data from across 60 to 70 resources of AWS. Maybe this is AWS. For example, let's assume there is a data stored in AWS. Crawler can retrieve the data from there, can retrieve and will create a tables only metadata. What is metadata? Crawler will create a table which consists of only metadata here. I don't know. I'm sorry. So again, here there is no meaningful explanation. So basically, crawler what it does from the data we have, it will take retrieve the data. It will read the data from here, and it will understand and create a tables. And inside tables, what will be there? Metadata. Metadata is nothing but I don't know if you guys are sure or not of metadata. Metadata is not real data. For example, here there is table, customers data like customer email ID, customer phone number, customer address, whatever it is. This is all real data. But what is crawler creating? Crawler also creating tables. Inside tables, what it is keeping the metadata of these tables. That means crawler having the data of how many rows or columns and what type of data, all this is there. So this is not real data, this is metadata of what it is stored here. So this is real data, and crawler is having just info or metadata. That means glimpse what all it consists of this data, not real data. Okay, so this crawler send this data to the data catalog. From this data catalog, what happens? This crawler creates a tables in which we can keep the all information about the real data. From there, the using that tables automatically AWS generates the scripts. See, first thing I wanna say this. This is very important. Like I said, there are many ETL tools outside. In real time, in ETL tools, we have to do everything manually. We have to take data. Even if you don't have crawler, just as what is the scenario? If you don't have the crawler, you have to manually create the metadata table. But crawler is automatically doing this. So AWS is giving us this feature. So automatically creating the meta table from the data source. I'm gonna show you practically. Then maybe your confusion will be gone once I show you practically how we're gonna do. It will create a table. From the table, from the data catalog, it automatically creates the script also to extract and transform. See, basically script you have to write everything. When you go to other platforms like Metallian or other database or whatever, you have to write everything there. Script, what are the transformations you need, logics, and all those things you have to write script. But AWS is doing our work easy. It is automatically writing script from the data log, taking the data from the data log, and then it is loading. If you felt like, hey, this script still need some modifications, you can manually do, but it is already helping you. But you here you can understand it is reducing your work. You don't have to do everything from the scratch here, and then you can load into the target. So let me show you how we can do this practically. Until now we have discussed all theoretically. Always practical thing helps. Let me go to the practical part. Let me come here to work on the see from image. What we can say, if I want to show you this how crawler works and all these things work practically, I have to begin from the starting. I need some data. Okay, I need to have some data so that I can show you everything practically. So from the starting part, we need to have data. We have to where we have to keep that data in S3 bucket. That's why I shown you where I can store this S3 bucket. And IAM concept I will show you. Wait. Let us do everything from the starting. There is something called IAM, Identity Access and Management. Manage access to the AWS resources. So basically, IAM is also very important. Sorry, let me show it here instead of disturbing it. Yeah, if I go to IAM, what is IAM? IAM is like Identity Access and Management. If you want to do anything, anything you need to have permissions. For example, even if you go to a company, even if you place it in a company, there will be developers, I mean there will be team leaders, there will be managers, there will be employees. You can't give access to everyone, right? If you can see, if you give WhatsApp admin access to everyone, maybe in 600 people inside that group, maybe one guy is not too much attached with the company. Maybe he doesn't have much roles in the company. He will do or spoil that group atmosphere by doing whatever he needs in the WhatsApp group. So there is something called admin, right, in WhatsApp. So the what does that mean? Admin is one role, so that he only can do some items which is permitted to, like that. Identity and access management. So it is saying if you want to access something, create a role. Create You can have users, user groups, create roles, policies for everything in this world. If you go, there will be role for everyone, there will be policies for everyone. Team leader should have the permissions for this. Employee or junior team member should have only these roles. Maybe manager should have these accesses. So all these items you can discuss it here. Like I said, today's concept is on AWS Go. That's why I'm giving you overview on IAM and I mean identity access and management and S3 buckets as an overview. There are still more to learn in S3 buckets. There are different types of buckets I'm gonna discuss later, and there is a lot to discuss more about IAM. But for the glue concept, I will tell you the overview. If you want to create a role, you have to create a role for this. We are gonna implement practically, right? How AWS glue is working. So if you want to create role, see, create role. That means you are setting a role. Hey, I'm creating a role. In this role, what does this role says? Only that role should be, you are creating some permissions, you are creating some order, and you are keeping that order with you. Once some guy joined your company, you are assigning that role to that person. That means whatever the roles that guy can do, only that roles can that only that employee can do. Let me show you the example. I'm creating a role, AWS service. For which service? We want to work on glue. I'm clicking on glue. What all the accesses you want to give for our work, for our mini project, or for our mini practice. What all access we need? We want access to the S3. See, I'm gonna do something, right? Transform load, like I said, AWS glue. For that, what all we need? S3. We have to we need access for S3 buckets, right? So we need S3, and we have to watch logs also, right? If something goes wrong, load watch logs, load watch logs full access. You want access, and you can say glue full access, AWS glue console full access, and we are missing anything? No. See, these are the three access I'm giving here. Create role. We have to give role name, right? Uh, Glue practice role. See, we have created this role. So if some new guy called Abdul joined your company, if you're assigning this role to that Abdul, he can access only S3 logs and glue. He can't access to the other roles. You understood, right? How we are assigning it. So if you are assigning this role to one guy, he can access only these items, these resources only in your company. So that maybe I'm a DevOps engineer guy in some company. I have to work only with EC2 instances and all those things. I don't want to make any blunder in other resources. If I mistakenly go into some other thing, I don't want to spoil some company's atmosphere or something. What I should do? I have to create roles, meaningful roles, and I have to assign the roles to that guy so that he can only work in the experienced area. He can't go into the other area, and he can't do any running any of the items, code runs there in the other resources, so that no blunders will happen. This is what IAM basic um, motto is. So I tried to show you what is IAM. IAM is important. I will show you where it is needed. It is needed in everywhere. And I shown you what is S3 and I discussed you what is AWS Glue. Let's go to Glue now. For every resource, you can search it here. Let's go to AWS Glue. See, I said AWS Glue consists of main components, ETL jobs, where you can transform, load tables, and whatever it is. And it consists of second important component that is AWS catalog, data catalog. So now I am showing you about this part. Now let's talk about this part later. Now, today's session, I'm talking only about this part. Okay. Yeah. Do we have any databases? If I go here, I have one database. We can create another database here. How we can create that database? Uh, Glue practice database. You can give description. Practice uh, glue. Sorry. Experiment on glue. Yeah. I have created a database. Inside database, what I should do? Add table. Come here. What I should do? I should add table. If I come here to the database, if I go inside this database, you have different options. Add tables using crawler or add table manually. Got it right? See, we have created a database here. Inside the database, we're going to keep the data and we are trying to add table. Like I said, we can, if there is no AWS crawler option, you have to manually create a table. But crawler helps you create that table manually. Automatically. If you come here, it is showing you two options. Add tables using crawler or add table. Let me add table here. I have to give some table name. What I can say, glue table one. I can select my database to which database I need this table, glue practice database. I can give meaningful description there. I can give standard AWS glue table or Apache Iceberg table. This is a standard one we can use. What is the resource? See, we are trying to create a table here, part here, table part here. What is the source? Where from where you are taking the data? So we are taking our data from S3. We selected S3. Now you can give the uh, for file name from which you want to take the file. Sample bucket Kansas. I kept in hotel data and customers data. I have custom CSV file uploaded. So instead of directly selecting that, I'm selecting this folder there. I don't know. This always shows me the issue. See, I'm saying, hey, from my account in the S3 bucket, here my data is there. Take data from there, and my data is into CSV format. Delimiter is comma. Okay, manually define or upload schema, or it is saying choose from the glue registry. So what we tried to say previously. Just a minute. I'm getting a call. Okay. So we have 6 months pending. Let me show you. So here I can say define our upload schema. We don't, like I said, we can create tables manually with ourselves, or crawler will help it to, sorry, it's in unmute or mute. Okay. So crawler will automatically create table for us. You can come here, table. You can add table using the crawler. You can give a crawler name, or you can come here, databases. Inside this database, I'm sorry, Abdul database, not Blue Practice database. You can add table here using the crawler. You can give crawler name. Uh, Blue crawler. Next. It is asking, is your data already mapped to glue table? No, right? We haven't still added it. We can add data source from where we want to take data. So this is the step here. It is saying, hey, you want to create crawler from where you want to take data from S3, give that path, and it will automatically create the metadata table. So I'm coming here and went here, and here hotel data and customers data. I have CSV file. It will show me issue automatically. And if I do the same thing again, this time it will not show me the issue. I don't know why. See, do you want to submit this all subfolders? That means it is saying, if there are multiple folders inside the customer's data, do you want to do the same thing for the all the subfolders also? I will say yes. Add an S3 data source and then click next. Choose IAM role. Hey, like I said, for this one, glue practice role. Like I said, right? If you want to do anything, it will you have to be assigned with some role. Here I'm saying, hey, take this role and do this thing. Choose database. Choose database. Which database we are trying to take? In which database we are trying to keep? Glue practice database. Okay. Table name, you can say, if you want to create the table, what you want to name the table. That's the hotel data. How whenever you want to create the table, only when I demand, or hourly you want to take data automatically from there, and then next. These are all the steps it is saying. Now I'm going and clicking create crawler. Our crawler is running. Mm. So it's still running. If it fails, it will show you the logs because we took the access for the logs also. If it don't, it will create the table, which I'm going to show you now. See, where am I? Databases, do practice here, and tables. Database catalogs. Why? Blue color. So blue practice role here, and taking this database, table prefix glue, table on demand, and then create a crawler. Okay. There is table already exist here. So in previous step, our table is already got created. I don't know why I was unable to see that. Okay. See, here is our table. So what happened? There is data source using crawler. Our metadata table, this table, this crawler you creating this metadata table, this table automatically got created. We can see that table here. This is CSV. There is a CSV file I took from the internet. So I didn't given anything. So it automatically took the column names and data types from the CSV file. This is how it creating the metadata. See, there is no information about these columns. There is only metadata about the what is inside the table. This is how it is working until here. Okay. So the next step I'm gonna discuss in the next class. This is what today I want to discuss about the data source, crawler, and the AWS Glue, S3, and IAM. I'll go deep down into the next session. Thank you.